cool it a little bit more. You talked about it, Dale. More power, less drag. These cars are coasting off into the corner.
Got one in the fin, stay low here.
Toyota Racing onboard camera riding with Nemechek.
All good right there.
Frustration from the one, but he's also hustling it back to pit road. I know he's frustrated, but trying to get that thing back, make some repairs, get back out to score points, but he has got to be super frustrated just because I think he knew what he had for a car. It's going to look much the same. So what you're looking at right here, I want to just talk about something. We saw the wheel come off last time, and there's a piece of metal that looks like what a rotor would be. That's just heat shielding behind the rotor. The rotor itself is completely missing. The hat's there. There is no brake rotor. The way they're bolted is they actually float. So think about it like a you know, kind of a wedged together piece. So once you remove a piece, the entire thing scatters off. It's not permanently bolted through, it floats. So once it breaks, it just goes into pieces.
Yeah. That's the tough part for the teams, is they don't know whether the brake needs to be hotter to survive or cooler to survive, because again, we can run too cool and create shake and create this issue where there's, you know, the brakes are getting really hot, really cold, really hot, really cold as you run through the lap and creating cracks, and that creates failures. Or is it getting so hot that it's just melting into the caliper? Trevor.
Yeah, I'm here with one of those Trackhouse drivers, Connor Zillage. Connor, you told me you didn't have any sense of anything happening with the brakes, no pedal fade. I would imagine your road course background, you know a lot about brakes. What do you make of all this, and now seeing your teammate have the same issue?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. It's a bit of a surprise, but yeah, it's been a tough stretch of races for us. Obviously, cars were fast. We were, you know, Ross and I both started in the back, and we're moving forward. And I feel like our Red Bull Chevrolet was good, and yeah, just unfortunate circumstances. But yeah, we'll learn from it, see what we can do better with the brake package, and come back next week at Michigan.
Thank you, Connor. Marty?
Trev, I don't know if this information helps Steve or not, but I know I talked to Brandon McSwain as Ross Chastain gets out of the car, the crew chief for Ross Chastain this afternoon, and they had the brake duct opening, Steve, 3/4 covered, and after what happened to their teammate Connor Zillage, they pulled a small piece of tape off the right front brake duct a moment ago on that last stop. So they were aware of the issue. They were concerned about it. They did pull some tape on the last stop, but obviously it didn't last very long into that run for Ross Chastain.
Yeah, the hard part is, Dale mentioned it, you know, this corner, some of that is aero. Sounds crazy, but this aero package is so loose edge. You really weight that right front tire. Then when you get on the brakes, the right front's doing most of the slowing. So now you're pushing a stool and one leg's not. Listen to this. So much like Zillage, he was not on the brakes when it exploded. He was still at wide open throttle. That tells me these are being overcooled. That's my educated guess, right? These guys down in the garage have more understanding, but you're going to see right here a big pop, some debris through the right front. But basically what happens is, like
the eventual failure of this right front rotor. But, you know, what other teams, and no one, that's the real concern with these teams. But you can see how open these grills are. On the left side, pretty sealed off, but the right side, quite open, comparable to most cars we're seeing on the racetrack.
So you see right there, a little bit open. Now we'll come to the right. They expect this to be warmer. Now look at that top hose, 3-inch hose, completely wide open, the lower hose half open. So according to Marty, they pulled some tape, so that makes sense. There was pit road.
Hocevar probably wants to pull a little tape.
Well, I was going to say, let's see what the 77 does, right? Because we saw it hot. We saw a lot of talk on the radio. So Trevor, what are you hearing on the 77? Is this just a strategy call, or do they want to work on the front of that car, maybe the brake system?
You guys are right. They're coming down to pull some tape on that. Obviously, they'll take advantage of this pit stop here and get some fuel and tires. But, Steve, my question is, you're saying hot, cold, hot, cold. If you just run hot, you get a little pedal fade. It's not catastrophic. So how do you hit that fine line there?
Well, it really comes down to the whole lead is better than a failure. Marty, what are you seeing? I see some.
But they have low water pressure. Steve, I just asked one of the Ford engine guys.
Who wins stage one and paying out those stage points here at Nashville.
To see if the 16 of AJ can do anything on the top of this race.
Decide stage one at Nashville. Front row, Blaney, Allmendinger. Here we go one more time in the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Blaney was going to get the jump. Here comes Allmendinger outside lane, and Larson getting it wound up off of turn 2.
Larson's going to have a little bit of run here. Could maybe go 3 wide. He's going to stay to the outside here, get outside of this 12-car Blaney down into turn 3. Can he get to the outside of the 16? He does. AJ, the 5 of Larson, into the lead. AJ's going to be able to side draft, coming to the finish.
That'll be a photo finish. It looks like the finish, stage 1, inside lane. AJ Allmendinger with a rally. How about that finish? Larson second, Blaney, Elliott, Reddick, the top 5. I thought they were going to be side by side, and AJ Allmendinger said, no, I'm going to power by on the inside and get me a stage victory.
That's a good thing for the notes going forward on the control car for restarts. Do we need the outside? Is the inside where we want to be? I think Blaney would love to do that one over again. Great job by AJ to fire off and make it happen.
On the gamble of not pitting, right? He paid, his crew chief gambled, and AJ stuck up for him and won the stage.
When you stay out, you better make it pay off, and they do here. Tremendous effort for AJ Allmendinger, who gets his first stage win since 2024.
Hello, I'm Ozempic.